Hello everyone, welcome back to Donkey Kong Rumble Jungle. So, we fell down into this pit after last part's interesting alternate universe ending. And now we just gotta continue. What's in the garbage first? There's an unbelievable amount of trash here. What is this? Sonic Adventure 3's Facebook page? Oh snap. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. You're right. I didn't. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there's a reason I had to survive no matter the cost. Why do you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive,
in other words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I came up with my mind to come to Hope's Peak for one very important reason. So, you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak.
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... Right, she says she has no memory. I have no memory, yeah. We kind of agreed that we believe that. Then is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed I had a feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it, Metal Sonic? Wahaha! Sorry. It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of an enemy the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you said is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like that dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Daijoubu desu? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right? Maybe tell her.
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked for you for the... I know I never asked you for the help the right way, so I can understand you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Well, dang. We should probably, talk to her about the thing that we just did. You said you had a reason for doing all the investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to... Oh, is it the ultimate detective? Was I right? You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. Oh. Yeah. The whole, yeah, I'm fine with touching dead bodies thing was kind of obvious. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, also the fact that she looks kind of like a alternate Naoto. I mean, with long hair. And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy was that there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, that was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Okay, that's an actual twist. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Oh yeah, where she freaked out. No matter what it takes, I'll find the headmaster, no matter the Oh yeah, that's when she freaked out. That makes sense now. My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess and the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion that someone who didn't know where anything was had to have been in there. You mean the headmaster, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and just to confirm my suspicion... Wait, suspicion... That looks spelt wrong, but I'm probably... Oh, I think it's right, actually. I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. Oh, that would suck as a teacher, God. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remember that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was that like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You'll need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Okay, now we gotta talk to her again.
However...
There we go. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With mineral restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion. Yeah.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. Whoops, wrong button. How did I miss that? I've been hitting the X button the entire time. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. What? It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... Yeah, that part. During the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. Whoa, that is the edgiest thing. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability that naturally draws me into cases just like this. Oh, that's not symbolism, you're being serious.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room. Man, would have been nice if we locked the door.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It also has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. There's a lot of reactive things. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if it's true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? Yeah, what? There's no doubt Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, tragic, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Who's ever responsible for that? They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. Fenrir? That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Wow, that title was literally meant to throw you off. It meant nothing. Oh, we went down from 7 to 6, so that's at least confirmed, which is nice. Kind of, I think. We got the Dream Island rocket. Okay, that's kind of nice that we get that, actually. Yeah, let's save the data. 5 Alive, what a reference. Also a really good drink. I like 5 Alive, the actual, like 5 Alive drink. Not Johnny 5 is Alive, but like 5 Alive. Do you have that in the States? I don't know. The ultimate despair. A group of people caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Okay, can we just go through the door, or... Rattle, rattle, it's locked, but we have to find a way to open this door. Do you have a way to get out? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Yeah, so let's use it. Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, click! Yeah, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good! We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Where are we going to be, though? Finally! We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Oh, that's a good logo and everything. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We climbed up the ladder, singing Snake Eater from Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, intent on reaching the surface. Whoa, nice! Ho-ho! Gamer points. I'm gonna use that for a thumbnail. Yeah! The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will keep my mind off it. Oh, that's cute. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's like my father's name was actually Dick Gumshoe. Shattered. Universe. Doors, barriers, fourth wall, gone. My heart explodes. Dick Gumshoe's a good friend. Quite the opposite, actually. Even among detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride! So that explains everything. Before I came here, I was looking up info about the school online. I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I have absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face that I hate him. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Yeah, close enough. Dude, the best... Oh god, Final Fantasy X's whole thing of... It's like, do you really hate your father? Yeah, I hate my dad! It's like, well then, find him. And tell him to his face that you hate him. And that's what fuels that journey. I love that. Sever? The last I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there... Why are you sympathizing with him? I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I would never have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. But I could tell, English, all I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing I could never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt that he forgot about me years ago. But your family! To just cut him out like that!
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I don't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing up the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. And there's nothing! Oh god, that'd be the worst. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember the hatch on the ground near the trash room? Oh, this is that. I'm fairly certain that that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so oh god, if she didn't, that would suck. So it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Oh dang, we're here. Looks like we're back. I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back into Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. But, like, okay, it's right there, so we're good. We're just gonna have to avoid all surveillance cameras. Like, straight up, right? Kyoko? This trash room. Yeah, no, it's fine. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you, too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
in other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like that we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So, you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before, what does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better if we do it to him directly. It'd be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help us with our negotiations. Still super uneasy about this. But we really don't have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay, let's head to the gym. Why in the gym exactly? Leave the area? Yeah. Yeah, zoom, let's go. Head to the store before we go. Alright, let's head to the gym. It's like we go knock on everyone's doors and be like, hey guys, what's up? So let's head this way. And into here. So we're gonna have to pass a surveillance camera, but like, huh. We're passing by the surveillance camera. This should be worrying. I seriously thought there'd be a stealth sequence. Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
I don't believe.
But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again. And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko?
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
no.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego! You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come into our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Murkuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it surely would be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto? And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine to make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now. With a little more time, I can guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk to me like some type of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
What's that supposed... And that's supposed to be... Oh, God. Guys, it's like 11:30 at night. I can't stop playing this game because I'm so into the plot. I'm sorry if my reading starts to die again. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence.
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto right now, everyone out there watching would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
And of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square,
we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Well, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a bit, so time for bear jokes. Now, Oh, here we go. Now, what you've suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, there'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. We still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end. So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mystery that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain
then that'll be enough to qualify as victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we have uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but, okay. Enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry!
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're gonna get all your punishment later anyway. And you start getting it already. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair. Poo-hoo-hoo.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. That's a lot of poo-hoo-hoos. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. Still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out better than I expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Well, okay. It's late. My reading ability's gone to crap. Thank you all for watching, guys, and next time we'll continue on with Chapter 6. Oh my god, it's gonna be pretty good. I'm actually so excited. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I'm probably gonna wake up and play this in the morning. Thank you all for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
You can